I wanted to come on as soon as I saw Zach Eflin to the Orioles. This is yeah.
Did it just happen?
Yes. Oh, wait, did you not know?
No, I just got on the damn computer. So this is one of the guys that, okay, I need to know the details, and I got a lot of thoughts on this.
So the Orioles are acquiring. We don't know any of – Tampa Bay will receive 3 minor leaguers in return for –
Here we go. Here we go, baby. So this is actually, while we're seeing these moves, I think it's further going to validate that we are not going to see one of the big arms, and maybe I'll be wrong. But – this year, what I tell people, you're trying to find last year's version of Jordan Montgomery at the deadline. Candidates for that, Zach Eflin, Jack Flaherty, which I know a lot of Orioles fans have certain feelings about him. And then obviously you have Eric Fetty. Those are 3 right now that I look at that are available that teams could go out to get. But clearly right now, Zach Eflin's the guy. And Zach, I like the move a lot.
I like it. I mean, I obviously would like to see who's going the other way before I officially go. But this is – I still don't have anything.
Yeah. I was going to say, and I don't like to – hey, Brian, I know you love us so much. And that's great. I appreciate you. Your viewership for hating us is fantastic. So – you want to keep talking with us? That's great. It's beautiful. We're going to talk a lot about the Orioles here and talk about things that we've had discussions with Zach in the past. And so this is a move where the Orioles are not going to give up one of their big guys, right? Like that's just the reality. And we're going to figure out exactly what that's looking like here as soon as we get more information.
Zach Eflin's got, I'm not going to say that.
Don't you say it. Don't you say it.
Oh, no, I was going to say he could be the guy that I would just need to see when he started last, because I know everyone was talking about how the Orioles have a TBA for Sunday and if that would be a guy we trade for. And this would be far enough out in advance, I'd feel like that they could make Eflin do that. But I want to see when he pitched last.
Eflin?
Yeah, Eflin.
He pitched last on the 24th. 5 2/3, 2 earned runs. So we're just seeing a lot of different moves.
He probably pitched Monday. I mean, if I had to guess.
The 20 for Eflin?
24th, yeah, so the 29th.
Today's the 26th, buddy.
Yeah, so he could pitch the 29th.
Oh, when he can pitch next. Yeah, so I thought you were talking about tomato. Yeah, who?
Yeah, I'm saying I could. Yeah, so I love the moves today.
Well, and also here's another one. Yimi Garcia is going from the Seattle Mariners, are acquiring him from the Toronto Blue Jays. This is getting out of hand. I was only going to be here for a couple of minutes. I got to go do pregame here in a moment. But this is a lot of good information. It looks like Steve's saying Eflin's next start would be the 30th. I really like the Eflin move here. So let's talk about that for a second. I know if you go and look at his numbers and go, the Orioles don't need this. Come on, they need to go get an ace. Well, they did go get an ace in the offseason in Corbin Burns. You gave up a good amount. I love where Grayson Rodriguez is at. I think he has the potential to be an ace type, but right now, a really good number 2. And Zach Eflin now brings stability to a rotation that they have been lacking. And you can hate it all you want, but Zach Eflin over the last 5 seasons has been hovering, actually going back to 2019, 5 years, he's hovered around 4 runs a game, ERA wise. That's going to play. That's consistency. And that's what you would need from a quote unquote 3rd or 4th guy. So perfect. Fits the mold. The Orioles aren't going to be done yet, by the way. What do you got?
Zach Eflin is also under contract next season.
There you go. So the reason with this, you're not. Yeah. So that's exactly what is going on here. And yes, in the move back, the Blue Jays got Jonathan Clase back. So that is interesting. But hey, look, I saw people saying, "Hey, Nomadic Brian, the Rays don't care. The Rays just care about bettering their team." And honestly, no team has done a better job of shipping off players at the other parts at the right time, right? So they've made moves at the right time. They don't always do it right. Maybe there's a part of there where the player still has time. So for the Orioles, they think that Eflin is going to be good for this year. I think he's going to be good for this year, but the Rays are looking ahead. Randy Arozarena, the example, they probably have a feeling that he's not going to be exactly what they need. Ship him off, and they're going to keep rebuilding. That's how the Rays do it. They're not paying these massive contracts, besides the Wander Franco contract, which that didn't work out too well. But overall, you get the gist of what's going on here. Where else can we go now, Zach? Keep me updated as I'm trying to watch here, but also trying to see what's happening. You're my eyes on Twitter.
I know. I feel like I'm checking a million places right now. I just want to know what the Orioles gave up. All right, I don't want to do predictions because
don't predict. Yeah. We're going to find out here very soon who was in that deal, because I'm very curious. And one thing I wanted to note is the Orioles farm system is so deep. And so even though we're talking about top prospects, the Orioles then, quote unquote, next tier down are still really good prospects, right? So keep that in mind. This is where this value for the Orioles can really start to show. And I think we're going to see some of those moves. And I got to have a feeling, Zach, that it's like what I said. I think it's going to be some of those mid-tier guys. So I am very, very curious. Very, very curious. I don't think you would not trade, just for people to rest assured. None of the quote-unquote untouchable guys were traded for Zach Eflin. If not, I'll throw the chair. I'll throw the bear.
I will get physical right here.
I will throw the chair that has our stuffed bear over there. So, hey, Paul, appreciate you, man. Thank you. And we'll continue back with Zach Eflin here in a second. And you're right, Beanie, Eflin's numbers are pretty good this season. I really like Eflin. That was one guy I circled. Jim Duquette, we talked to him about Zach Eflin as well. He was one of those targeted players. Now, Paul, you ask, I'm greedy.
Okay.
Here we go. Hold on. We'll go back to this, Paul.
Wow. Okay. The Orioles give up Matthew Etzel, who we've talked about. Just all the dude does is hit. Jackson Baumeister and Mac Horvath, who.
Yeah, Horvath, the UNC guy. So there you go. Etzel's had a great year. Again, I believe he was a 10th round pick, 11th round pick. Swinging the bat extremely well in the minor leagues. But right, again, those are good prospects, but they're not the top tier prospects, right? So there it is right then and there. We're finding out this is how the barometer here of what's happening.
I'm all for this. I'm all for this move. I hate losing Horvath because I think he's a very talented player, but you have to give up talent to get talent. So,
yeah. So, look.
I hate giving up Etzel.
Look, it's a depth move. The Orioles are not done. Now they have 2 moves down. So, Zach, actually seeing the moves that the Orioles have made, I don't think they're going to stop it at 3. I'm
thinking we're looking 4-5 right now because I don't think they're anywhere close to done looking at what they've already gotten.
Yep. And then, just reports of hearing yesterday, and we talked about and we'll go back to Paul's question now real quickly. And thank you again, Paul. I'm greedy to do a trade with Fedde and Robert Jr. You think Sox would just want prospects, or we would include a vet or two like Seth and Mountie? I don't see why the White Sox would want established vets right now, because Cedric's going to be a free agent the following season. Mountie, I guess, if you want to build around him, that's where it would be. But if you're the White Sox and you want future players, you want future guys, Mountie won't be – I love Mountie, but Mountie can help a team win right now. And personally, I would not trade Ryan Mountcastle. I've said that before. But
all right, I'm going to bring this up. Hold up.
Okay. So, but to finish this point, I think that they would want prospects. And for Luis Robert Jr. or Garrett Crochet, they want a lot. Eric Fedde alone, I think you could get a good deal. But Eric Fedde and Robert Jr., I think for Robert Jr., guaranteed you're going into that threshold, you're giving up one of your big dudes, and you have to. Even though Robert Jr. has not stayed healthy enough consistently, teams are going to buy the talent, they're going to buy the age, they're going to buy what his average salary is. Robert Jr. is a guy, if he's healthy, he's unbelievable. That's the only thing that holds them back. But you got to be on the field So I just think for all those reasons, I don't see that the Orioles making it. I'm not going to hold my breath on it. Eric Fetty, I think, is very well in play. I think Eric Fetty is very well in play.
That would make my year. Here, I just wanted to pull up Zach Eflin's Baseball Savant page just to kind of give people a little bit better idea of what we're looking at. Not a high velo guy, as you see in the 17th percentile at just hovering pretty much at 92 miles an hour with his fastball velo. Rip, the one thing I take from this, and it's very important to this team, I think. Look at that for walks. 99th percentile. Zach Eflin does not walk people. And the biggest way for innings to become unraveled is to go out there and start walking guys. So I think it's really important for the Orioles to go and have a guy now where he's got good chase in the 87th percentile, but the biggest thing I'm looking at is Zach Eflin does not walk anyone.
And that's the biggest thing. You've heard me talk about this with the Orioles pitching staff. Walks for any player is what's going to hinder a pitcher. And especially for a guy that's experienced, Eflin knows how to pitch. And you saw right there, he loves to use his fastball and cutter a lot. That's his bread and butter. The majority of his pitches are going to be fastball,